Mm. Oh my God, I hate this lighting in this room. I have to do something about it. I wonder if I tilt the computer this way and I come from this angle. So I may have to try that to at least get better lighting. Okay. Jeez. That appears to be better. That's much better. Woof. Okay. Okay, now we're just going to wait for people to come join us. The lighting's better. I'm visible. And hopefully the students have not gone mad. Anyway, at this time I'm going to go ahead and start with the Hangout. I apologize. I hope my students can find me. I hope they are there. I'm going to wait for a moment because I know I can hear myself now and I can actually see myself, which is better. Go to my EOL. Let's see it is here. Well, while we're waiting, I'm going to go ahead and take a brief moment to go ahead and get started with the Hangout. And hopefully my students will find me and they'll join me. And if they cannot, the speech or I can't talk. In the event they cannot find me, the Hangout, it will be available on demand as well. Again, I am Dr. Russell Robinson, and this is Elements of Speech, formerly Elements of Speech, and now presently MSCM 2200, Intro to Public Speaking, which too can be used as a fulfilling class for the requirement in the GSC or GC requirement at NCCU. I want to give you a brief overview of myself, if I can, and tell you what I bring to the course, and hopefully we'll talk with you, and you'll be out there, and we can also start talking about what you'll bring to the course. Basically, I've taught this class online now for about the 3rd or 4th year, and it has gone through various incarnations. What we try to do is we try to provide an opportunity for students who are at a great distance from the university to have an opportunity to chime in to take this class and to also be able to get requirements fulfilled to complete their basic graduation requirements. In this class, what we try to do is give you the basic package of how to make a good public speech. Oh, good. Now we have people coming in. Okay, so I have another student who's here. Hopefully the student will be able to see me and the others will follow. I feel like I'm rambling to myself too. That's one of the things you get used to during this type of class. Okay, so I take it people can hear me now. Is that right?
Yes.
Whew, thank God. All right. So again, welcome to the class. I apologize for the buggy start. Basically, I had moved and we're trying to take care of a few minor things, i.e. the lighting in this area. So I think you can see me a little bit better now. Also, I went to a different browser. I was working with Chrome, and Chrome was giving me fits. So I decided to go back to Safari, and I think I've worked out all the issues there. Again, like I said before, I'm feeling a little ill this evening. I think I'm coming down with a slight cold. My son must have given it to me. Don't know, hoping that it will not be a big thing. But I'm probably going to end Hangout a little early this evening. And what I'll probably do is come back and do an abbreviated Hangout as well. So what I want to do is take this opportunity now to find out who you are, and find out what you're getting from this course, and get your experiences thus far in regards to the class readings. I think we even have an agenda that I put forth before this afternoon, so I can put it up. Yes. The agenda that we see here is, again, a brief welcome from yours truly. I'm going to do a quick screen share. And from there, I'm then going to turn it over to you all to find out who you are. And we'll find out what it is you hope to take out of the course other than a passing grade. So let's go over a basic agenda for this evening. Can you guys see and read that?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, so first of all, I want to go ahead and give a quick welcome overview of myself, so forth to the class. Second, I also want to get through student introductions. Last, I also want to go, well, not last, but I also want to go over the assignment overview. Now, in many cases, you pretty much have already completed the About Me page, and in some cases, you probably have to do a revise and resubmit, and that's normal. That's par for the course. Then we'll go over the basic specifications for the speech of introduction. Again, we believe that's due. I have to double check my dates on that, but I believe that's due at the end of this week or the first of next. Let me double check that. Also go over the attire, what I'm expecting you all to do or be dressed like. And from there, we will also go over other bits and pieces, critiquing the speeches, feedback, and again, give some opportunity for you all to ask questions of me. That sound pretty decent?
Yes.
Cool. All right, so what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and first open up the syllabus. I want to double check to make sure that we have the right dates down for the due date. Do you all have a copy of your syllabus with you by chance?
Yes.
Okay, so what does it say?
For the due dates or?
The due date, yes, please. Right, so I see here, the speech of introduction, I'm gonna go ahead and do a screen share. Let's see what we got here. The speech of introduction we are saying is due on September 1st, and that is going to be at 5 o'clock. So I'll take a look at my calendar. According to my calendar, that is going to be on what day? Is that this Friday?
Friday. Yes.
Okay. Very good. So that's due this Friday at 5 o'clock. And if we go look deeper into the actual syllabus itself, we can actually see the requirements of what we're going to talk about some this evening. Okay, so let's see. By the way, how many of you have read the chapters, or at least the sections 22.3a and 22.3b?
No.
Have you all read that yet?
No, I have not.
I take it that you need to go ahead and read that because that'll help inform some of the things I hope to accomplish with the speech. Just a second. Yes, JR, what's up? Come in.
Sorry, I thought you called me.
No, I'm teaching class. Okay, so let's see. So right now, that's what we need to have done. That's the due date of the speech. We'll go over greater details of that shortly. Okay, so let's go ahead and keep on with our agenda. Let's find out who's joining us this evening. Who do we have with us?
Sherry Burton.
Your name is?
Sherry Burton.
Sherry Burton. How are you? What is
I'm
it?
good, thank you. Sherry.
Sherry. Okay, Sherry Burton. Okay. Welcome to the class. What do you hope to take out of the class?
I hope to, I'm not big on public speaking or making speeches, so I hope to get better to be able to, I guess, do it, because I don't like making speeches or anything like that. So I hope this would help me to gain the confidence to do it and do it well.
Okay. What's your major?
Nursing.
Nursing. Very good. Welcome to the course. Okay, and then we're going to go to, now who is this, please? Makisha?
Yes, my name is Makisha, and I hope to learn out of this course how to communicate and talk in front of large groups, because I get nervous, and I feel like this class is just a good course to take when it comes to speaking and childhood education, which I find myself talking in front of a group of kids every day, but I can talk. I feel like I'm more comfortable with talking to kids versus adults, so I feel like this class will help me become a better speaker.
What's your classification?
Junior.
You're a junior, okay. Any anxiety or concerns about taking the class?
Just doing everything correctly and having speeches that, or just having a perfect speech or a speech that will get me a great grade.
Okay, that's fair enough. I think you'll be fine. No worries here. We're all on the same road together. And my last person I have with me who is in the dark, I can barely see you. Who are you?
So,
You're the baby.
Adrian White-Newton.
You are who?
Adrian White-Newton.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing
Welcome
good.
to the class.
Thank you.
So, tell me, what are you taking this class for other than a basic college requirement?
Hopefully to gain better at speaking and giving speeches, because I get very nervous and I like kind of stutter and things like that when I get very nervous.
That's okay. Everyone stutters. We call that speech anxiety. Have you done any public speaking before?
I have,
What types of speeches have you given?
like in certain classes or at events. And I kind of like get nervous, or sometimes I like forget things.
Okay. It's okay. That's allowed. Sometimes that happens. If you take a look at some of the things that we have going on right now with the people who are in power, they forget quite a few things. Obama, who's one of the greatest orators of the 21st century, he has made some mistakes too. So the one thing I want everyone to understand is that we're all taking this trip together, and we're all going to make mistakes. And mistakes are allowed. Mistakes are not fatal errors. They're just mistakes, and we can grow from them. A little bit about myself. I kind of got tapped to teaching online public speaking because I've taught speech before. And one of the things that I like to do is I try to make sure that I keep the class as light as possible. This is really a class that shouldn't be that difficult or that challenging. The most challenging thing I would think about this type of class really would be the level or how much you want to push yourself as far as to what degree do you want to get better. I try to make sure when I teach, I provide a comfortable environment. I try to be as responsive to my students' needs as much as I can. Flexibility, but I also want to make sure that we have a certain level of structure, especially since we have a class that is online. And in many cases, sometimes folks will not be able to go ahead and see all their people all the time, or they're thinking that this type of class is one that you really need to have an audience for. So, again, I'm getting over this thing, whatever it is. So the main thing I want to make sure you all understand is that mistakes are going to be made, and that's okay. It's not, we're not striving for perfection. We're not asking you all to go out and present a presentation that is going to shape the world just yet. But we do want to make sure that you have the basic skill set that you can take across the disciplines, your various majors, and even into graduate school if possible. I've had the opportunity to coach students who have actually gone on to place in speech contests on campus and to the undergraduate research symposium. And I've had a student go beyond the undergraduate symposium and actually go to a program that was beyond, if you will, outside the university. So I want everyone to make sure that you're comfortable, make sure you're at ease, and let's go ahead and make sure you have a good experience in the class. So let's go ahead and think about some other things that we have to look at. Now, your first speech, that is your speech of introduction, and that really should not be a difficult speech. In fact, it should be one that you actually have a little fun with. But I try to change it up a little bit this semester. One of the things that I've noticed is that when when students do their speech of introduction, they pretty much come out, they give a presentation, and it's one and done. What I like to try to do is actually add a little bit of spice to it and actually provide a real world scenario to it. How many of you all have gone to a conference or a presentation when you have a person who's being introduced as a keynote speaker?
I have.
Okay. And what is that introduction usually like? What is the introduction of a keynote speaker usually like? And do you want to hear who the person is that's speaking? Is that a fair statement?
Yes. Say that again. Do you want to hear?
Yeah. Are you engaged? What makes you engaged to actually spend about 20 to 25 minutes to listen to a speaker that you, in some cases, may have paid money to speak, or you may have fulfilled a requirement, so you have the privilege of hearing this person speak. What does it take to make that person engaging? What does it take to say, I'm going to give up 20 to 35 minutes of my day so I can listen to this person in the flesh deliver a message?
The subject, what they're talking about.
Right, what they're talking about, their content, what else?
To gain knowledge.
Well, not just to gain knowledge, but I mean, there's obviously some sort of an interest. But usually, when someone is introduced, someone has to hype up that person, or else you're just not going to be interested. Does that agree?
I agree, yes.
Okay, good. I mean, think about it. Even though that last night's boxing match was last night's boxing match, you still had someone who was the hype person who really got people ready to listen or watch the fight last night. Or if you hear someone, if Obama or even if Trump were going to make a speech, you usually have someone who will come to the podium and get people aroused, get people hyped up, because they're going to hear what this individual has to say. And that's usually your job with a speech of introduction. Your speech of introduction, or your job as the one introducing someone, is to prepare the audience for the message, prepare the audience for the speaker. And in many cases, if the people are ready for the speaker, they're going to have a good experience. So the speech of introduction, believe it or not, is one of the most powerful speeches that you will make, either it be for yourself or for someone else. And so that's why I want us to go ahead and have a good time with this, and that's why I like to go ahead and change the flow of this. What I want you to do is I actually want you to introduce yourself as though that you are the keynote speaker for an organization. In fact, I want you to separate yourself from yourself, and you're going to introduce yourself to people. Now, you will do this over the course of 3 minutes. You will have 1.5 minutes minimum, 3-minute maximum to introduce yourself.
Okay.
Now, how does that sound?
That sounds good.
A little scary because it's a little scary. Right, I can tell you it's a little scary because you have 3 minutes of airspace that you have to fill. And within those 3 minutes of airspace, you have to say something that is dynamic, that makes people want to hear what you have to say. Again, going back to the About Me pages that you all created. And some of the About Me pages, let me say that the visuals and the actual pages were great. And in other cases, we were a little bit, had some more work that we have to go do, which is why I want people in some cases to go back and revise and resubmit the pages. Now, why would you think that I would want you to provide a visual as well as you doing the actual introduction at the same time?
I would say to maybe get us ready for the speech, the speech that we have to present.
Okay, try another one. Let's see what else you guys. Let me hear another response.
To give the audience something to focus on other than you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another, okay, someone else.
I guess we can get better at speaking and writing.
Okay. Think about it like this. When you go ahead and make that presentation, you introduce someone, you pretty much kind of like have to, again, like I said, hype the individual up. You have to go ahead and give something to the audience, all right? So let's think about this. What I would like for you guys to do is as you're preparing your speeches of introduction, I'm sorry, let me go back. The visual piece as well as the audio piece, we are now a visual culture. That's what I wanted to say. By being a visual culture, we kind of encode messages when we see them as well as hear them. And in some cases, we have people who learn better that way. So what I was hoping that you would be able to do with the About Me page is, one, prepare, for lack of a better term, another type of digital footprint for yourself. In some cases, I saw students who elected to do the speech or I'm sorry, elected to do their photograph, and it was a selfie. Now, think about what a selfie is, and think about what a real professional polished photo looks like, and then put that side by side with text. What type of message do you send if you have a selfie and then you try to come up with a business professional type look? You all are thinking, but you're not trying to. Come on, don't be shy. Think. The wrong photo and the wrong text, or the wrong photo mixed with certain text, comes out a mixed message. Would you agree or disagree?
Wrong photo, wrong text. I agree.
All right, elaborate.
Because if you get selfies, you take different poses, different
Okay.
professional, you look more business like
Okay.
like I guess more mature. I say because some selfies are different.
True. Okay. Thank you. Let's hear another response.
When I think of selfie, I think of something more personal that you feel comfortable. It's something that you want, how you want people to see you versus business is you have to dress it up more appealing and more appropriate because it's business, professional look versus a selfie kind of like what you want, how you want it to be or what you want people to see.
Very good. So exactly. So we're trying to make sure that the photo matches what we want the people to see and take from us. So a good a good photograph, a business photograph, you dressed in business casual or business professional wardrobe, and even if you're not posing, but more so a photo of you around what you're doing professionally. That actually goes a long way as far as building credibility with your audience. So I would like you to think about that. In some cases, some of the students, not anyone in this room, I don't believe, you've been asked to redo the photographs and really think about the actual presentation that you're making visually. So again, yes, we are a visual culture, and if you have both types of messages flowing, you have a better level of audience impact or audience adaptation. People are going to understand and want to identify more with you if they see the visual as well as they hear the audio piece about who you are. So when you're introducing yourself next week, what I'm looking for, of course, is that when you do the actual photography, if you're going to use a camera phone, make sure that it's kind of horizontal as opposed to this way. It needs to be horizontal, right? And as you do that, you need to have someone do that for you. Additionally, when you make the presentation, it's a very good idea that you have in the background, if you have a flat screen TV, that's great. Take the actual photo that you have, or not the photo, but take the actual About Me page that you created and put that in the background so I could see that behind you. And then I want you to introduce yourself from the third person. You're not introducing yourself, I am this, da 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 da. You need to introduce yourself as the third person. And as you do that, you'll find that a lot easier as you create your speeches of introduction. Your speeches of introduction, in many cases, I prefer that you not read them. And in some cases, we have individuals who may do that. Reading, unfortunately, is going to have an impact on how the audience sees you. I've seen people give presentations where they have the golf club look. Not a good look. But if you don't have to memorize it either, but the idea is familiarity. You should make yourself familiar with what you're going to say and practice. I cannot stress it enough. You must practice. If you fail to practice, then you're really going to set yourself up for a bad performance. So I would recommend rather that each of you put in about 2.5 hours of solid practice on your speeches of introduction. Remember, they're from the third person. So if I were doing a speech of introduction on myself from the third person, I would say, ladies and gentlemen, we are here to talk about an individual who has persevered through obstacles. They've persevered through many obstacles that in actuality have strengthened that individual's character. They operate primarily as a full-time custodial parent, but beyond that, they're also a leader in their discipline, higher education. And then I would give examples of what I was doing. So you see what I was able to do there. I was able to, in essence, provide a third-person perspective, but again, come up with a good introduction, or at least it was kind of fragmented. But think about something that's going to capture the attention of the audience, okay? And as you capture the attention of the audience, you then should tell an anecdote or some type of story about this individual that introduces the person to the audience. Further, as you're doing that, I would also recommend that you, since you know the person best, that you also express the purpose of why they are there today and what brings them there to speak. Now, I know this is somewhat confusing, but I want you to think about it this way. Think about it that you are presenting yourself as a keynote speaker for the professional organization of your choice. So if I were presenting myself at one of my professional organizations, let's say it would be, let's say it's BEA, Broadcast Association of America. And I was talking about some of the work that I've done just across my discipline. I would talk about that and talk about my audience and who I wanted to talk to. Talk about my audience or speak to my audience. So in your cases, you have various disciplines that you're going to be coming from. One's coming from the field of nursing, another one's coming from child education. So think about that as you prepare the presentations. Do you guys have questions for me about that?
No.
No.
Makes sense? Okay. All right, so I'm going to kind of end it a little bit short right here. 2 reasons. 1, my nose is congested. 2, it's getting dark outside and I don't like not being able to be seen. But what I will agree to do is I will actually have a part 2 of this hangout. Let's say maybe by Wednesday to check in with you guys to figure out where you are with your speeches. And if you have questions, feel free to shoot me an email or call me on the phone. My son is finally back in school, which is good, thank God. And so I'll have more time in the office I can give towards this assignment. Do you have any further questions for me about this?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yes.
If you do Wednesday, I have another class I have to log in at 6, from 6 to 7. If you do it, will you do it about 7?
What I'll probably do, it'll be about 7 o'clock, and what I'll more than likely do, what I'll probably also do is the same thing, is I'm going to go ahead and record this so everyone have an opportunity to watch it as well. Okay?
Okay. Yes, sir.
All right. You all have a good evening. Talk to you soon. Take care.
Okay. Thank you.